to the cloud. And all right, so again, happy new year, everyone. New year, new beginnings, new plans. And exactly, at exact 24 years ago, on this very date, January 15th, I had, I was delivering my second son. He was born. And by then I thought to myself about what kind of world and challenges he would face from that point and on. And evidently, as a young mother, I couldn't help but hold that feeling of protection, fear for my son's future. Back then I was way too focused on this pessimistic, dark world that the press, the media was presenting to me. So some years later, I was given this book from Chico. The name of the good book is in Portuguese over here, A Caminho da Luz, but translated into English, it means On the Way to the Light. And in there, the message I found was rather the opposite. As Emmanuel said, by divine determinism, we are inexorably on the way to the light. We are all on this journey towards the light. Some of us, we are speeding pretty fast, others moving slower. It doesn't matter which way we go, because regardless the pace, we all experience the same type of journey. So in meetings with this group, then I became aware of silver birch messages, which brings same type of teaching as Emmanuel. We all walk on a bumpy road, cut some spiky edges here and there to finally become part of the light that created us. And I was so happy to see this message from Silver Beach being consistent with Emmanuel's, as that confirmed to me some 3 points. The first one is consistency. The consistency across the messages encourages me and bring us a tremendous hope. I like consistency, and I like to see this consistency between Kardec, Chico's, Silverbridge, and very high spirits talking the same message. This is awesome. The second point is we don't have to walk this learning path alone, as good and nice guides are willing to help us. So we need to work on our connection with them. That's true. They cannot do all the work by themselves, but it's so nice. It's so good to know that we don't need to walk this journey alone. And those friends and those helpers, they are everywhere. Again, that's such a relief to know that there is adequate support for every single soul, regardless what we believe, regardless our origin, culture, place in the world. So happy 2022. Welcome back to our meetings. Happy to see you all here, safe and sound. So last time we talked, we stopped right here on the question 643. And the question was, are there individuals who are incapable of doing good? And the answer is, there is no one who cannot do some good. Only the selfish find no opportunity of doing so. The mere fact of being in contact with other human beings provides the opportunity of doing good every day of your lives for those who are not consumed by self-interest. Doing good is not restricted to giving to charity, but also includes being useful whenever your assistance may be needed to the full extent of your power. As a matter of fact, when I read this, I think to myself, I can't help but thinking to myself, the question that I believe
But
is
you,
good.
1 second, you are not showing the whole screen, at least for me. I don't know, it's everybody. It's cutting, doing good. It's not restricted to giving it to charity. And from then I cannot see anymore.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry
Well,
about that.
it's fine on my screen. And,
oh, it's fine in yours. So it's mine,
Oh,
Barbara.
okay.
Okay.
For me too.
Never mind.
It's nice.
Never mind.
Okay, it's fine. Okay. So let me see,
And
Joseph, because I'm gonna move.
Anna, you can't see my hand is up because it's
Oh, sorry. Yes, go
against the
ahead,
cloud.
Giles. Sorry.
I want to talk briefly. No, I want to make a comment on the world is going to hell in a handbasket and we're all doomed. That kind of prophecy has been on street corners for a long time. And some preachers like to get up in pulpits and say much the same thing. You're all doomed, so give me all your money before you go, and so on. And I just want to tell you that it strikes me that some guides are telling their mediums that all hell is about to break loose. Now, I think that is actually total nonsense. Those people need new guides. Why waste a perfectly good torture chamber like we have on the earth, which was built so carefully and so much effort, and it's made just for us to go to school in, which we're doing and enjoying. I mean, enjoying. There's mostly laughter and love here on the planet, and then there's a lot of people that don't know yet that no matter what happens, we're going home where we came from. But that's the name of the game. If you have to take this life seriously,
Yes,
because otherwise it doesn't work.
yes. And not only that, you have to take your mediumship and the messages that you get seriously as well, because there is
Wait a minute. If your messages are from your guide are that you're all doomed and you're going to hell in great pain, then that's a wrong guide.
Yeah, let me finish. The communication between us and the spiritual realm is no different than you turning on your TV and picking your channel or your news. Which one you want to pay attention to? You know, today, being honest with you, I'm not watching any. I'm not aware of. I'm aware of everything that is happening. I'm just picking the ones that I want to read, and the ones that I believe that has no intent to manipulate me, to maneuver me, or to put fear or on me. So
sweetheart, you're so nice. I stopped watching the news at dinner time 45 years ago, because I realized it was interfering with my brain and my digestion, and which are much the same thing these days, as we know. So the game continues, and nothing much has changed.
Absolutely, yeah. So Hyacinth, you have something, you have a comment. Please go ahead.
Yes, because there is a lot of negativity. There is a lot of war. There is a lot of rumors of war. There's a lot of planning and plotting and lies and deception that's going on. And I feel I will not ignore it. I will listen to it and say, bloody liar. Because I face it. I will not be drawn into it. And I feel I cannot not listen. I don't watch the news as such. I just hear what's being said, so I hear the other side.
Yeah. Yes.
But certainly there is so much lying and deception all over the place, everywhere in every country.
I agree. It's all over. Yes.
I do not accept it. I know and I see the lies. It's plain as day.
Agree. Josie, thank you, Hyacinth. Josie?
I have said that before, and that's maybe it's my personal opinion, but in times of transition, as we are in the planet right now, I don't want to be negative or pessimist, but it's time for everybody show themselves and the kind of last chance people have now. And so we can expect of getting a little worse. And that would be normal, a normal path of evolution. So just prepare, but it's gonna get better after. I don't know if it makes sense. I don't know what I'm saying, but just we need to be strong, and maybe we are going to overcome. We need to be able to overcome maybe difficult years ahead. But I think everything is going to be for the progress of the planet, of everybody, and it's going to be a kind of selection as well. So, but I'm not want to leave nobody afraid. I don't want to
Yeah,
bring.
yeah. Thank you.
But say,
Yeah.
but we need to be a little bit prepared if we need be a little stronger in the new. The
Yeah,
future.
remember, difficult times and times of crisis, they are very good on show. Kind of.
Makes us strong in a certain way.
It does, but in those opportunities, the human being, they show their best and their worst at the same time. So we have to deal with this duality, these two realities at the same time, and it's not easy. Okay, let's go ahead and get going over here. Number 644. Can the situations in life that human beings often find themselves in lead them into vice and crime? Any comment on that? Can the situations in life that human beings often find themselves in lead them into vice and crime? Hyacinth?
Oh, no, I should have taken my hand down.
Oh, sorry.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I just say that what I hear from people is that they have a strong intuition to do these things. There's a voice that tells them to do these nasty, horrible things. So, but I don't know, but that's what quite a lot of people say.
Thank you. Giles?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, there are situations that a person is placed in that can suggest vice and crime, which is, of course, selfishness.
Yep.
And any of these philosophical questions, I call them philosophical because they're karmic questions, have to do with how many incarnations you have had. If you are a young spirit and just arrived from the animal kingdom, then you are going to go into vice and crime like a duck to water. You're going to dive in because that's what animals do. However, when you've had a few thousand incarnations, you tend to slow down a bit and realize that love is what matters. And so then your temptation to fall into vice and crime, when it's presented in front of you, falls away. And when you are later on in your incarnations and near the end, now there's no temptation at all. All you want to do is help the idiots who are making trouble for themselves. No, I don't. My best guess is I've arrived at about halfway, a bit over halfway, because I can understand this temptation into vice and crime and deny it. So, and yes, of course, the answer is pretty much right. And the question is, how much temptation can you take? And that depends on how many incarnations you've had, how developed is your spirit, how evolved is your spirit, how large is your spirit, because it's only in incarnations that we can make our spirit larger. In the afterlife, it is very difficult to make your spirit larger. You can work at it for hundreds of years and you have a tiny little bit bigger spirit. Whereas a couple of good lifetimes on Earth and your spirit
you speed up the process.
Immensely increased, because you've been pounded by challenges and temptations, each of which is nastier and tougher than the next, and you have made it. That, of course, is the point. Choosing something that you can handle, not overdoing it. Elected to expose yourself to temptations, but not stuff you can't handle, where you say, oh, I can't do this anymore, and you put a gun to your head. No, that's no good. Okay, that was it.
Agree. Thank you. Maria, you raise your hand.
Yes, I think that in this situation, we have 3 levels. We have 3 situations here in this question. The first one is that if the incarnate spirit has bad tendencies, but is reborn in a good environment without negative influences, he will find a way to satisfy his negative needs and tendencies. The second is when the spirit is not vicious and has not overcome these lower tendencies. In this situation, the environment will bring a lot of influence in his habits. The third one is that if the spirit has superior spiritual tendencies already acquired, it can be placed in any social environment and social vice, and will not be a reason to fall.
I agree. It's pretty much in alignment with Giles' comment, but for some reason, and this is just an observation. I cannot say it is an opinion from me, but observation after reading several books, spiritual books, some of them channeled by Chico Xavier. I noticed the spirits, when they are ready to reincarnate and they are talking with their spiritual guides, there's always concerns. There is always a conversation talking about the challenges ahead and the possibilities and things that could go wrong. So that just tells me, even for the higher spirits, it is a challenge still. It is not an easy task to come over here in this environment and not knowing that you do not have full access to your whole potential and not follow, I don't want to say the word temptation, but just saying not following whatever the environment is putting ahead of me. So I have the impression that taking this task of incarnating here a lifetime in this planet is not something easy. It's quite a challenge, even for the ones the very high developed spirits, I guess. Hi, Cynth.
Yes, I just want to say that Jazz was a little hard on the animals because animals are not necessarily wicked or evil. They do what they have to do, and it's usually just surviving. But human beings again, who was it was saying that they don't like to put human beings in a higher category
Mhm.
than animals, because it's who says a human being is higher. But we do have to. There's a reason that we incarnate,
Yeah.
and as I understand it, that you make a pact with what you want to do, but very often we don't remember what it is that
Yes.
we want to do.
Yeah.
And so we have to go through and we repeat it until we have learned it and got over that stage,
Yes.
is my understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree. Thank you, Hyacinth. Giles.
Yes, in my opinion, and it is of course an opinion, karma is something that, for example, plants do not have. There's no doubt they have consciousness of a sort, but they cannot generate karma, because the idea of a plant having evil intentions and selfish attitudes is nonsense. Again, early in the animal kingdom, saying snails or oysters have karma is nonsense. However, when we get up to the end of the animal kingdom, we get into elephants and Alsatian dogs, and I'm sure there's a lot of other animals too. I guess monkeys, if you want to split hairs. Their karma certainly has meaning and begins, because your dog, when left at home, can do something which it knows is bad. And it's going to hide when you come home because it knows it's done something bad. Just as your horse knows it's bad when it steps on your foot in the stable when you're trying to put the saddle on or the bridle. I don't know what kind of experience our listeners have with animals, but I have enough experience to know that certain animals are can get into bad moods and do things which they know are wrong, which means that karma is starting at the end of the animal evolution, the higher end, obviously. And therefore, when we get to humans, what is the real difference between humans and animals? And I will say there's only one real difference, and that is that humans are able to train themselves, where animals are not. Humans can learn to play a musical instrument, but you can stick a musical instrument in a zoo full of monkeys, and no, none of them will learn to play the instrument, because humans are different, and they definitely have karma all the way, and they can engage more karma or less. And then there was some remark about wanting an incarnation. When you've lived in the afterlife for a couple of centuries, you've watched all the good movies, you've been to all the plays, you've visited all the people you want to visit, you've played all the golf games you can stand, and done all of the things repeatedly until you're up to here. And now you say to your friends, okay, it's time, I'm going back. And they all make the sign of the cross at you, say, no, no, no. And you say, all right, and you drop it for another 100 years. But in 100 years or so, you are bored stiff, because there are no challenges worth a damn. You're doing your social work, you're doing what you can to help other people, but in order to help them better, you need a bigger spirit. And where do you get a bigger spirit? In an incarnation. So that's why you choose. Now, you may be halfway through your incarnations while this thought process is taking place. Or you may be further on, and then you get to choose very, very accurately what kind of an incarnation you want. I suggest people look at the Minnesota twin studies if they want to know the difference between nature and nurture. The Minnesota twin studies, any website search will give you that. All right, that was it for the moment.
Thank you, Giles. So, okay, so moving on over here. So the answer, yes, but those very situations are a part of the trial that has been chosen by their spirits when free. They have chosen to expose themselves to those temptations to acquire the merit of resistance. I guess this is pretty much in alignment with all the comments from everybody. Any other question, comment before we move on? Okay. 645, when a person is surrounded by vice, doesn't the impulse to commit vile acts become almost irresistible? Comments?
Same answer, no doubt there.
Yeah.
When if you've got some courage because you have grown your spirit by doing a number of incarnations, the impulse to do evil does not become irresistible. The impulse is to try and help the causes of it, or you're in the wrong place and get out of there and stay away.
Yeah. Tim,
This reminds me of a song called The House of the Rising Sun.
Thank you, Giles. I'd like to hear from Tim because I know he has a very strong opinion about this. So when you see the folks in California going to a pharmacy store and just robbing, picking up all the stuff in an aisle and just leaving the store without paying for the products. So what do you think about that temptation? Do you think is how do you correlate that act to this question?
Wow. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Yes, yeah, I love your answer. Like,
and not everything that's not legal mean it's moral. So it's another
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's very good comment. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I do not know if I'm gonna translate very well, but there is a saying that there is a statement from Saint Paul, and Hyacinth, you may help me with that, but he said something about everything that is legal, but not everything is good for me to do. Something like this, isn't it?
Yes, and he also says that he does the things that he knows he should not do, and does not do the things that he knows he should do.
Exactly.
So that there is this dialogue that's going on within yourself, and which is stronger at the time.
Yeah.
Because I can't say, because some people apparently do not know that they're being wicked. I don't know, but most people, when you're doing something wrong, you know very well that I shouldn't be doing it, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that this is what Paul refers to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Hyacinth. Giles.
Yes. Sins, as they are traditionally referred to, which get you in jail, in human law, you have to have one size fits all. And knowing this is why we have juries and judges that can make opinions about whether the one size fits all or not. But in reality, they are always relative. In the law of karma, a sin is relative. You can kill your best friend deliberately with a gun, and that will be doing him a favor and doing yourself some good if the situation is right. And the situation I have in mind is a battlefield where you cannot carry your friend away. through the mud and the explosions. But you can see that he is wounded beyond all recovery. And he says, kill me, as you love me, kill me. Now, it'll make the hair stand up on your neck, because you know the right thing to do is to kill him, and he's your best friend. However, now we take another situation, and you are both millionaires living happily in your McMansions, and you go round and you say, oh, I'm coveting his wife, and so you poison your best friend. Oh, well, there's a first-class karmic sin. So it's the same thing. You've killed your best friend. In one case, you've done him and yourself some good. In the other, you have not. Just the opposite.
Yep. Thank you, Giles, for your comment. Maria.
I think that is very interesting topic to learn and study about it, because we need never ever we need to grow up. And in our environments of society, we will find appeals that lead us to bad or good conduct.
Mhm.
In the same society, we will also find people who live with good morals and ethical conduct.
Mhm.
It is up to each of us to be aware of our choices, aware about our choices.
Mhm.
Not everything is karma, but everything is a choice we make.
Yes.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you have a different idea, I have a different idea about karma that I would like to share for group reflections.
Mhm.
If we understand karma as a lesson we failed to learn in the past,
Yeah.
that lead us to new levels of learning. In the past, we have negligiating learning.
Mhm.
God will give us new learning opportunities,
Right.
providing situations similar to the ones we fail to learn, and how not to steal or not to kill.
Yeah.
For example, karma for me is not a punishment or suffering.
Yep.
It is a new learning opportunity. And
Yep.
when we are in the environments and make our choices, we have to responsibility about our choices and to be conscient that we made our destiny and we can transfer to another one the choice that we made.
Yeah. Thank you, Maria. I like your reasoning, and the comment you made is I like the idea that I do have a choice, because that's exactly what I believe. We all have a choice. We are free to choose. That's free will. That's what it means, free will.
Yes. And we are making a choice every day about everything.
Agree.
We make a choice.
Agree. Gloria, you have a comment. Please go ahead.
The last three questions, I'm going to kind of bring it forward my thinking. The times in my life when I have been tempted, it seems to me when I've gone astray, it has hurt me and not other people, whereas a crime usually hurts another person, and in my thinking. And a couple of days ago, a friend sent me a little video of a minister who made a distinction that I think applies here. We are individuations of the one spirit, the great spirit. And we're here having this experience in Earth School, as Craig Hogan would say. And when we can learn as humans to treat other humans the way we would speak to and treat God, then we will have evolved. And we don't do that. We speak to other people as if they're separate from God, and they're not. They're also in the individuation from God. And I think that is the most difficult thing for me, is to continue to be aware that everyone I meet is an individuation of spirit, that God is in that person too, and to speak to them and to honor them as I would God.
I love your comment. I agree. Yeah, it makes totally sense to me as well. As a matter of fact, that's exactly the time of thought that I use when I am, disappointed with someone, and I don't want to hold that feeling to myself. What I do is I think about the spark of light that it is in that person too. It's just that sometimes that person didn't have the chance or the opportunity, or the open mind to show up, to present that to the world. But that's exactly what I believe as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hyacinth?
Yes, you're told that you should see God in each person, and that I find very difficult to do. But that's the ideal, because everybody, no matter how awful, is apart from God, and they have been separated because they are not pure. But they are all striving to get back,
Yes.
whether they know it or not. And this is the situation,
Right. Thank
as
you.
I understand it.
Thank you, Hyacinth. Would you please read the answer of this one for us?
The impulse is strong, but not irresistible, because you can sometimes find great virtues within yourself, despite being surrounded by vice. Spirits who remain virtuous in the midst of evil temptations have acquired enough strength to resist temptation and fulfill the mission of exercising a beneficial influence on those around them. That's a very good answer, actually. Yeah.
Yes, and it's just what parents would say to their children, or some parents. If you find yourself surrounded by bad people, leave. You can't do anything about them, but you can leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so moving on, the 646 is the merit of good measured by the conditions under which that action has been committed. In other words, are there different degrees of merit in doing right? Any comment from anyone? Una, what do you think?
Una's
Well,
talking
think
to
about
her
it, Glenn.
cat.
Ask
She
your
didn't hear
cat.
646, Una.
I think we'll have to think. I think me and the cat are going to have to think about it for a bit. Sorry, it's getting kind of late here. My brain is a little bit tired tonight, so I'm listening, but
Right.
late.
Well, the answer is quite simple. There's certain situations are more meritorious than other situations, and it all depends on the situation. I gave you the most awful situation last time of murder, where murder is a good thing and murder is a bad thing, depends on the situation. So, of course, this virtuous action, if I pick the good murder where you kill your friend on the battlefield because he's asking you to do so, this is much more difficult than giving $10 to a beggar. So therefore, there is a difference.
Yep. Thank you, Giles. Thank you, Una. Josie?
I would say here, I would consider the intention as well. And I
Yes.
think what you think and why you do a good thing, it's very
Right.
important. For example, I can go outside and make charity, give food to people just to show other people that I'm a good person. Or I'm going outside because I really want to help. I really want to make a difference. And
Difference there. Yes.
you can.
The situation matters.
Matters. Yes. Yes.
One size does not fit all.
Yeah.
Unlike human law, which is why we have such travesties of justice sometimes.
Yeah, and the situation matters, but I think the degree of the challenge it also matters. So for me, for example, if I am a rich person and I decide to donate money to to charity, yes, it's nice. But if I have no money and I give my last to feed someone, I think it is another thing as well. Hi, Sif, please go ahead.
Yes, I think, again, what I understand is you give what you have to give.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had this relationship with St. Stephen, and what he said was, you will find that the poor give more than the wealthy because the poor give all that they have, whereas the wealthy give what they can easily do without.
Mm-hmm.
It's a proportion thing. And I think that if you give because you are moved to give, genuinely from the heart, that's one thing. If you give because, oh boy, see how much I'm giving, I'm so great and so good, you might as well not give.
Exactly.
Because it has no value whatsoever.
As a matter of fact, it doesn't have to be a material stuff, right? Sometimes all that you have to give, that you have to give someone is a prayer, is a good intention, is a good vibration.
Yes.
And
yes.
And if you do from your heart,
it has to be from the heart.
Yeah. Thank you.
And again, I know in Indonesia, for example, where the rich and poor, it's very marked. And in an organization, and there was a woman who had very, very little money, but she was so active in doing things, in helping, because she wanted to. This is what she had to give, her time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
And another one, my very good friend who was very wealthy, did not believe in God at all. But I say, and I was telling my priest only yesterday, that woman exhibited more Christian values than anyone else I know, because what she did was always from the heart, and she did a lot because she wanted to do it.
Hyacinth, that's so sweet that you told your priest yesterday.
I like to tell my bishops and priests. You know that. I like having conversations with them. But really, because it's no value. It has no value when you just give for the sake of giving.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Good comment. Thank you,
I beg to differ. It has some value, but obviously not the greater value that when you're poor and you give away half of what you have.
No, Giles. It's you don't get.
You say it's no value. It has some value.
You don't earn brownie points in this situation.
Okay, who's keeping score?
There is the book. There is the book of records.
And do you know who is keeping score, Giles? Your
conscience. You are keeping score yourself.
Your conscience.
You do your own karmic and life review after you die, and then you know what you've done.
Yes,
now,
Giles.
come on. So you are keeping score.
Yes, and what bothers me is that when I cross over, and I have to face myself. I say, no, 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 I didn't. Yes, Hyacinth, face it. You can't hide. This is what you did. And I don't look forward to that time, Jazz, I tell you.
I know, I've told you before, I think this is the reason why we typically fear death as humans, because we know we've got our karmic review coming up.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at least some of us know, others pretend that it's not going to happen.
No, but I know that love will meet me. And will
I
help.
totally understand you, Hyacinth. I fear that moment as well, to face my own consciousness.
No, I didn't. Yes, you did.
Maria, please go ahead. You raise your hand.
These questions make me think of a passage from the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one where Jesus is in the temple with his disciples and watching the way the people deposited their money donations.
Okay, the donation, yeah.
Those who had a lot donated a lot and liked it, that the coins made a lot of noise when they were deposited, so that everyone would know that they gave a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Then a poor widow comes and discreetly deposits a few donations coins. Jesus said that her giving was infinitely greater because she was giving something that she would need.
Yes.
Of a value she would need to support herself.
Yes.
That's the difference of we can do for something in situation. When we give what we have a lot, it's not difficult to me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to give one thing that's very important to me, that's infinitely greater.
Yeah, that's pretty much in alignment with the comment from Hyacinth. You know, if you give something that is just spare money, yeah, it's nice, but you know, it's not as much challenging if you give the money that you buy your own food, you know, your dinner for the day.
Yes.
Yeah. Una, please go ahead.
Isn't there something in the Bible as well as it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to get into heaven? Isn't there a quote to that extent in the Bible somewhere?
Yes. Hyacinth is our Bible expert.
Easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. That's right.
Exactly.
Than a rich man to enter into the kingdom.
Yeah. And I agree, it's something related to that. As a matter of fact, Una, would you please read the answer for us?
Sure. The merit of good depends on the difficulty entailed. There would be no merit in doing right without self-discipline and effort. God takes more notice of poor individuals who share their only piece of bread than of the rich who give only what is superfluous to them. Jesus told you this in his parable of the widow's mite.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Thank you. Sometimes I like to think when about that miracle of multiplying the bread and the fish. I like to think that the miracle that Jesus did was to put everybody on the same understanding, you know, that is to share what they have. So evidently, as Jesus, he was able to do anything, he's able to do anything. But I like the idea of thinking that the miracle was actually to make everybody sharing, you know, or coming to a point that the idea is for them to share whatever they have in their pocket, in their, you know, in their baskets. So, Giles.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Hyacinth.
No, there's a you know, Saint Martin, and there is a story where he cut his cloak in half to give it to a poor man. So that, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Giles.
Once upon a time, I had a conversation here with a fundamental Christianist, and we went back and forward for some time. And finally, it occurred to me to stop his nonsense with telling him there's two things we can agree on. And I think I've mentioned this story before. And so his shoulders were going humpy like this. As I said, there's two things we can agree on. And I said, that's love God and treat your neighbor as yourself. Oh, he said, and his shoulders went down. He said, yes, you're right. Well, as it so happened, a couple of months later, I was in West Africa talking to a fundamentalist Muslim. And we were going back and forward on various subjects. An imam, actually, who had built it in the process of building himself a mosque and feeling very full of himself. And so we went back and forward on various subjects until it finally occurred to me to say, there's two things we can agree on. And his shoulders went up just like the fundamentalist Christian. And I said, yeah, love God and love your neighbor as yourself. Oh, he said, and his shoulders went down. I said, well, that's it. You know, what else is there? It's easy to say, but it's very hard to do. Huh, he said, yeah, I guess you're right. This conversation happily was happening in English, although it could have been in French or in Spanish, but not Arabic because I'm not that good. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that the whole of the law is contained in those two messages because they fit all situations.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Giles. And guys, it's 18 minutes past the full hour. I guess I will stop over here. And I hope to see you all next time. If you happen to have any news from oh gosh, from I'm going blank over here. Stanley, please let me know. I didn't have any news from him. I sent him some notes, so I have no idea if he's doing okay. But just, you know, I'm a little concerned since I didn't have any reply back. But anyway, I hope to see you all next Saturday.
Anna, I'm sorry, but there's something I need to say to Art. In our private conversations with Art, we have determined that our opinions about incarnations, and what I would like to say to you, Art, is that I will find you in the afterlife, and we will have a conversation.
Okay.
Because we will be on roughly the same dimension. Otherwise, you would not keep turning up here. And if you're pretty much on the same dimension, then I will be able to find you, Mr. Metcalf.
Oh,
and listen,
okay.